IV curve scanning is used to assess open circuit voltage, short circuit current, maximum power point voltage, current, and peak power in solar systems. It is also utilized to spot problems like shading, dust accumulation, and temperature rise in PV modules and arrays. In this video, you will learn how to scan the IV or PV curves of a solar array in MATLAB software with and without a DC to DC converter, as well as what limits are imposed on IV curve scanning by the type of DC converter used for this purpose. First, I'll show you how to scan an IV curve using a simple circuit that doesn't require a DC to DC converter, often known as offline IV curve scanning. To do so, use the library browser and add the following blocks to your Simulink file. The first block is PV array. The second is constant block. Then add diode, voltage measurement, current measurement block, product block, XY graph, scope, series RLC branch, ground, power GUI. Once you have added all of the components, set block parameters of PV array as presented on the screen. Connect the constant blocks to the PV array and set the values to 1000 watt per meter square and 25 degrees Celsius for the time being. I am going to make a 3x2 PV array. As you may know from the theory, when PV modules are connected in series, a bypass diode is connected across each module. Therefore, connect this diode to the PV module. As displayed on the screen, these are the diode's parameters. Now copy and paste these blocks to make a 3x2 PV array. As depicted, connect PV modules to one another. In each string, you can also use a blocking diode. Our PV array is now complete, and we will measure current and voltage using current and voltage measurement blocks respectively. A capacitor is used as a load in an offline IV curve scanning circuit. As a result, open the series RLC branch block and pick the capacitor from the branch type, setting the value to 1 mF. Use product block to calculate array power. Connect the voltage sensor to the XY graph blocks and configure the parameters as indicated on the screen. The x-axis of these blocks was set to the array voltage, and the maximum limit was computed by multiplying the open circuit voltage of one PV module by the number of series connected modules, that is 3. The first XY graph's y-axis was chosen as array current, and its maximum limit was computed by multiplying the short circuit current of one PV module by the number of parallel strings. Similarly, the y-axis of the second XY graph was chosen as array power, and its maximum limit was computed by multiplying the maximum power value of one PV module by the total number of PV modules, that is 6. We will also utilize the scope block to visualize our signals over time. Right-click on the scope and set the number of input ports to 3 in the Signals and Ports section. These ports are used to connect voltage, current, and power signals. After double-clicking on scope, go to the View tab and select the layout as displayed on the screen. Also in the View tab, check at the Legend option. Now click to the Tools tab and in the Measurements section, confirm the options for cursor measurements and signal statistics. Connect ground to the negative rail. Our offline IV curve scanner circuit is ready and now we will run the simulation for 15 milliseconds. The overall shape of IV and PV curves is shown by XY graphs and the scope block is used to measure signal value at a specific time instant. XY graphs show that there is only one maximum in PV curve, which means PV array is operating under uniform shading condition. In scope window, you can measure the key parameters of PV array. You can observe that VOC of PV array is 97.9 volt, ISC is 16.45 ampere, and maximum power is 1188 watt. Voltage and current at MPP are 78.14 volt and 15.21 ampere respectively. Now create a shading pattern as shown on the screen and run the simulation again. You can observe in XY graphs that IV curve resembles a staircase pattern and PV curve has two maximum points, the first one of which is global maximum. In scope window, you can observe that VOC of PV array is now 97.4 volt, ISC is 16.45 ampere, and maximum power is 776 watt. Voltage and current at MPP are 51 volt and 15.2 ampere respectively. The offline IV curve scanner circuit demonstration is now complete. This circuit is suitable for analyzing the IV and PV curves of a PV array by yourself. However, if you want to use the parameters of the IV and PV curves in an algorithm for fault detection or maximum power measurement, you will require an online IV curve scanner circuit that implies a DC to DC converter and a resistive load. Because boost converter is utilized as DC to DC converter in most photovoltaic applications, we will use it in our online IV curve scanner circuit as well. To do so, follow the steps on the screen to construct a boost converter and control circuit for an online IV curve scanner. The input capacitor should be 5 millifarad. The inductor should be 50 microhenry. The output capacitor should be 47 microfarad and the load resistance should be 50 ohms. This is the basic IV curve scanning code. The reference voltage is set to the PV array's open circuit voltage and the duty ratio is increased or decreased until the array voltage reaches the reference value. Set the PWM generator's switching frequency to 25,000 Hz. Make the connections as shown on the screen. We have completed our online IV curve scanning circuit and are now ready to run the simulation for 100 milliseconds. You can observe in XY graphs that there is only one maximum point, and in scope window that maximum power is 1189 watt, while voltage and current at MPP are 78.17 volt and 15.2 ampere respectively. To improve IV curve scanning results, values of input capacitor and load resistor should be as high as feasible, while values of inductor and output capacitor should be as low as possible. The first reason is that while scanning the IV curve, the boost converter should consume the least amount of current from the PV array. The second reason is that the reflected load resistance at the PV array's output is finite. To explain the second reason, you need to look the PV curve in the XY graph closely. You will see that power does not completely settle down to zero in the open circuit region. Similarly, if you look at the voltage graph in the scope window, you will note that the array voltage in the open circuit region, which is 96.4 volt, is lower than the open circuit voltage, which is 97.9 volt, as determined by the offline IV curve scanner circuit. So what is the issue with this? Consider the block diagram of the PV system, where the function of the boost converter is to modulate the load resistance at the output of the PV array by adjusting the duty ratio. Ri stands for the modulated load resistance, which is also known as reflected load resistance at the boost converter's input. It is the resistance seen by the PV array and decides its operating point. Its value can be calculated by this equation, which depends on two parameters, that is load resistance RL and duty ratio D. Because RL has a fixed and finite value, we can modify the duty ratio to change Ri, and therefore the PV array's operating point. When the duty ratio is 1, Ri equals 0 ohm, and when the duty ratio is 0, Ri equals RL. Take a look at the PV array's IV curve. VMP stands for maximum power voltage and IMP stands for maximum power current. Point C is the maximum power point. The red dotted line depicts the load line, which has a slope of 1 by Ri. We decrease the duty ratio from 1 to 0 when scanning the IV curve of a PV array, and as a result this load line moves from left to right from point A to E. When the duty ratio is 1, Ri is 0, hence the slope of the load line is infinite and it operates at point A. Ri grows as the duty ratio drops and the slope of the load line decreases until Ri is equal to Rmpp, where Rmpp equals Vmp over Imp. As the duty ratio approaches 0, Ri equals RL. Because RL has a finite value and the duty ratio cannot be reduced anymore, the slope of the load line is also finite, and the PV array operates at point D. Whereas to fully scan the IV curve, Ri must be infinite or the slope must be 0, which is not achievable in reality. As a result, the non-captured zone is defined as the area between points D and E. So what can we do in this circumstance to fully scan the IV curve? We need to increase the value of Ri, which may be done by either decreasing the value of D, which is not possible any longer, or increasing the value of load resistance, which is still possible. As a result, the higher the value of load resistance, the more completely the IV curve may be scanned. As the load resistance increases from 50 to 300 ohms, the open circuit voltage rises from 96.4 volt to 97.65 volt. In the open circuit section of the PV curve's XY graph, it can be seen that power curve is now closer to zero than in the prior scenario. It is important to note that the entire topic applies solely to boost converters. In buck converters, the non-captured zone appears around the short circuit region of the IV curve, and in order to fully scan the IV curve in buck converters, the load resistance value must be reduced. We can also test this circuit for partial shading, and we can see that MPP occurs at 776 watt and 51.1 volt, just like in the prior case. Online IV curve scanner demonstration is now complete. Because I mentioned in the introduction section that IV curve scanning can be used for a variety of purposes, I'll show you how to use the online IV curve scanning circuit to track global maximum power point. To implement the GMPPT process, modify the algorithm as shown on the screen. Before setting the PV array to the global maximum power point, this code looks for that point. Because we cannot scan 100% of the IV curve with the DC to DC converter, I set the reference voltage to the 95% of the open circuit voltage. As previously stated, the value of reference voltage is affected by the load resistance and shading pattern on PV arrays. The higher the irradiation and load resistance values, the higher the reference voltage value you can use. The variable scanned was used to see if the PV array had been scanned or not. After scanning the IV curve, this algorithm sets the PV array to the global maximum power point. The variable VMP represents global maximum power point voltage and variable PMP represents global maximum power. Run the simulation again after making changes to the circuit for the GMPPT algorithm. Here is the IV curve scan region, and this is the global maximum power point. You can see that PV array is functioning at GMPP in steady state after discovering the GMPP. This was a demonstration on how to use the offline and online IV curve scanning circuits to scan the IV and PV curves of a PV array. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments section. Please subscribe to my channel and see you in the next video.